I'm good.
You're good? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're good?
Yeah, I'm great.
Positive?
We made it through Monday. Ooh, that made me dizzy. I sat up too fast. Perks of getting older, right? Carl's watching. Hi, Carl. You know, I was just talking about you, Carl, and I told Jeremiah before the video went live or whatever, I said the good captain. Well, it doesn't need to be the word captain. It needs to be captain or captain or, you know, say it like a pirate would, you know,
right.
Arr or something. I don't know. Anyways, welcome everybody.
Darkness Live Tribe, here we go. How's everyone doing this week? I mean, we're only on Monday, but, you know.
It all blurs together. Sorry, my hair's a little wild today, guys. I got home later than normal, and I didn't have time to do anything with it. So, but what's really crazy is like when my hair's back, you really don't see any gray hair. Have you noticed that, Jeremiah? When my hair's back, you really don't see any gray.
Well, I don't notice the gray anyway, but that's
when
just me.
It's not when it's down, it's like, holy hell, you know. But I'm loving it. I'm totally
it's
copying.
It's really not that bad.
I'm totally copying Lena with her look, and I love her natural gray, and it's so pretty, you know. So yeah, it's Monday. We've made it this far and got through Monday, and I was a bad girl today. I totally shared a bunch of posts in the middle of work.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. We're not. You really shouldn't do that, but everybody else does, and I'm like, oh, might as well join the crowd there, right? I found some really cool pages though,
cool.
And I totally should say thank you to these pages for finding all these cool memes, because you know, anybody who checks out my news feed and stuff, it's all about like, well, it's pretty much like one of a few things. Either one, stuff to do with being a mama or a parent. Two, or children. Two, really morbid things. Three, really funny humor. Or four, anything like pagan related. Yeah. That pretty much sums up my feed. But I gotta say I'm pretty proud of my news feed, because I like rarely get any kind of political anything on my news feed. You know that? Rarely will anything.
That's an accomplishment.
I think
that's an accomplishment.
I think it is.
I'm the political minded one, and I wish I wasn't, because
your news feed is like full of like
I can't get rid of it. I'm not going to talk about that shit tonight, but this is like the one time when I get away from it. You can
check out the political shit tomorrow on his IMHO podcast, right?
Well, hey, Claire, it's even then it's not real political. It's just common sense shit that I'm calling people out on.
I almost said Claire Nicole. That's not her middle. I don't think that's her middle name. Claire.
Anyways, but
I just glanced and I said Claire, and I was like, hey, Claire Nicole. Oh, no, that's her last name, Nichols. Oh, my gosh. Anyways, yes, Captain and Claire. Captain, Claire, welcome. Whoever's watching, say hello so we can say hi to you back, because I don't know who's always watching. All I can see is the what we're seeing up with comments. So if somebody is watching, please say hello. Be brave. It's Virgo season, but just be brave. Speaking of Virgo season, this week, as of Friday, we'll have a teenager in house.
Oh my God, I'm not ready for that again.
She literally came up to me and said,
"Talk about paranormal."
Pamela!
Message from the dark side.
Chloe's watching. Jessica's daughter, Chloe.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, Chloe, welcome. We're glad you're here. What was I saying?
I don't know. What were you saying?
Doesn't even matter. Hi, Charles. It doesn't even matter. It's whatever. You know. I really have no idea what I was saying. I really have no.
Probably something about teenage daughters.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Back on track. Back on the train track here. So,
Speaking
Melanie,
of which.
What?
Well, I'll get into that later.
So Melanie, we were in there and she's cooking dinner and she's like super stressed out about the bacon. Okay, like, and what I was trying to explain to her, when you're cooking bacon, you cannot have that cast iron skillet at hot temperature, because as soon as you set that thing down, it's gonna burn, and it's gonna be smoke, and it's gonna be a disaster, and it's gonna spit hot grease at you. That's why I turned the attic fan on, because
how hot did she have it?
Like 5 or 6, which on our stove is way too hot.
Yeah.
And anyway, she was like, hey, so...
That's probably my fault, because I told her medium or lower.
Okay,
so she probably put it at the high end of what I said. Anyway.
Charles said, focus. Charles, I'm trying. It's only Monday. Give me credit. Drink. Carl said, take a drink.
I have to...
Tonight's a special drink
We're doing
night.
something. We're doing something different with that. I'm doing something different with the
Hey, Ben.
What are we going to call this thing?
Can I talk about Melanie for a second?
Yes,
what happened?
okay,
I really
okay.
want to get this out there. So we were talking about
Hey, Ben.
the fact that her birthday's this week. And I said, oh, my God, you're going to be 13. This is the last few days in your life. You will never not be a teenager. And so on. And she goes, so, you know, I just have a question. You know, Melanie's very inquisitive. And she goes, so... even though I'm going to be a teenager, I just don't like the idea of people expecting me to have mature birthdays. I mean, I don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese or anything, but I really just... I mean, Stephanie, and she always pulls out old shit, right? She always remembers everything you say. And she goes, well, you're the one who's always preached about you're going to be young forever. And I'm like, oh, well, like mentally young, you know, like kid at heart, so to speak. And I was like, well, Melanie, I was like, yeah, sure, of course. I'm talking, you know, like... when I was talking about the birthday to her, I'm like, we're talking about, you know, when you become a teenager, it's more of, we'll give you money and you can pick out exactly what you want versus a whole bunch of gifts. I said, I've never said anything about not having a birthday party. She's like, but without gifts, what's the point? And I'm like, oh my God.
She's not materialistic or anything.
I know, right?
You know.
Yeah, but little Virgo. And then Bella's going to be 11. I can't believe that. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe... Bella's going to be 11. What?
Yeah. You talk about paranormal activity. I mean, we're going to have, you know, 2 teenagers. Here within just a couple of weeks, we're going to have 2 teenagers in the house and 2 preteens.
And a toddler. Pamela said, sounds like my Gemini kid. Charles says, mature? Teenager? LOL. No doubt. Were you a mature teenager?
No.
Hey, at least you own
I was
that
an
shit.
Asshole.
Oh, you were?
I was an asshole.
So if we would have met then, like if we were the same age and we would have met, I probably would have fucking hated you.
No. I was an easy to get along with asshole. When I say I was an asshole, I was the one that never, I never honored my curfew. I was always getting in trouble at home. I didn't, you know, I wasn't an asshole to other people outside of my home. I was just an asshole at home.
To your brothers and your sister?
Well,
probably
not so. I got my ass beat if I was an asshole to my brothers. You know,
by
that
them?
was
Or your parents?
by them, because that was, you know, just the way of it. That's why I was an asshole to everyone else, because I didn't have a chance to be an asshole to them,
right.
Even though that's the way they treated me. But you know that's the.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
my mic needs the little blue pill now. There we go.
We think we're mature as teenagers. I know, right? It's kind of like lagging. I was like the perfect teenager. I never got in trouble.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of shit. I was in trouble all the time at home. And man, my mother would pull out those lectures. I was never spanked. As a child. That's what's wrong with me.
Probably would have rather have been spanked.
Oh my God, the lectures were the worst. You know, and I didn't have siblings to buffer anything, and so. Yeah, the lectures were the worst for me growing up, man. And it wouldn't matter what you said. You could be like, well, I'm sorry. You're not sorry. If you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it in the first place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There was one time, this was like the epitome of oh shit moment. The house I grew up in was a 2-story house, and it had really high ceilings, okay? Mm-hmm. Wood floors, all right? And I was upstairs, and my mother got done ripping my ass for something, which I probably deserved, to be honest. I'll give her the credit. Hey, Christy's watching. Hi, Christy. Oh, good. The mics sound great tonight, by the way.
Oh, good.
Crystal clear. Good. There was one time, the only time that I ever pulled this. My mother got done ripping my ass about something that I had done like I deserved. And
hopefully they'll stay that way when we get the guest on the phone here in a little bit.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. It's going good. Kenna said, hi, everyone. Hi, Kenna.
Hey, Kenna.
Anyways, so she like walked off from upstairs to proceed to go downstairs. She gets all the way downstairs, and under my breath, I said, God, what a bitch. And she marched back up the stairs, and she said, I should slap your mouth. She didn't, but she's like, I should slap your mouth. And I'm like, you know, I put my parents through absolute hell from the age of 18 to 22. I mean, being a good little girl, growing up and everything, abiding by everything, not breaking rules, it caught up and they paid. They paid dearly for about 4 years, man. Okay, enough on children. let's get to. You and the girls played the Ouija board. You can talk about that.
Yeah,
I did not participate.
We did the spirit board the other night. The girls have been. I got a nice spirit board for my birthday, thanks to my lovely, doesn't know how to not give a gift wife. What was? Did you just knock on something, or was that?
That's outside influence. I'll go check it out. I'll go. Do you want to come say hello to everybody?
We're live.
You might as well come say hi.
Everyone knows you're here anyway, so.
Come say hi. Come on, I'm serious. Come show your beautiful face.
Speaking of the devil, one of our beautiful daughters. Get over here.
No, come on, everybody wants to see you. Her shirt says, be a nice human, by the way.
Huh?
I bought Madeline and Bella's shirts that say, be a nice human. Honey, come. You gotta come back here so they can see you. You don't have to stay on, just, you can say, okay, introduce yourself.
I'm Madeline, hello.
And tell them what your sign is.
I'm an Aries.
She is an Aries, Sagittarius Aries, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All fire, man.
Scary.
All fire. Yes, so she's one of our 11-year-olds. So anyways, okay, you can go now.
Okay, bye-bye.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Did you need something?
Yes. Do I wash Sophie's hair?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Kenna agreed with me. I did go a bit wild.
Yeah.
A little bit. But
Yeah.
it was all that 18 years of pent up, like, bedtime and,
Yeah.
never fighting the man or whatever.
I don't know. I would just, I was just an asshole from the get-go.
At least you own it. Hey, let's get back on track. What were you going to discuss about the drink thing?
So, what are we going to call this drinking game that I do anyway?
Well, that's all you, because I don't do it. So
I don't know, paranormal squirrel drinking game or something like that. Anyway, we'll figure that out. So, I something I would like to do, because I'm a craft beer person and stuff like that. I think I would like to, with each show, start
getting a beer?
trying something different, and then maybe giving a review on it at some point.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, you could do that. That would be really cool.
So tonight I'm starting with Meadowlark Farm hard apple cider. I'm generally not much of an apple cider guy, but I'm excited about this. This was gifted to us last night by some people that we hung out with,
and all along with an incredibly amazing deer skull that he himself killed with a bow.
Yeah,
and gave us the skull, which was you're in good company when they give you a
when they give you dead bones.
Yes, I got super excited about it.
So but I'm actually because this is locally. Actually, she works at this place.
Yeah.
This Meadowlark Farm Orchard and Cidery. So that's cool. I'm excited about that. And then this, I'm also excited about. They gave us 2 bottles of this, and this is like his special homebrew stuff. This is it's a sizer. It's a combination between mead. Homemade mead and homemade hard apple cider, and so I'm excited about that too. And then I have my old cheap nasty standby if I happen to make it through those. But if I happen to make it through those,
well, you're lagging about three gulps. Just saying.
I may be in trouble because these are both really, really strong.
Esty says he needs to bring us some of the Iron Monk from Stillwater.
Cool.
Bring it on, Esty. And
absolutely.
Then, yeah, Paranormal Squirrel, LMFAO. I'm sure LMFAO is not part of the name. It's laughing my fucking ass off.
Yeah,
but,
He was laughing his fucking ass off at the name. So.
It's true. It's very fitting. Very, very fitting. Okay, so let's talk about. You got anything you want to plug before we?
Actually, I do, guys. You guys are all amazing. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to have a
Good thing you got the wrench.
Yeah, I got to have a bottle opener for that one. You guys have been doing amazing. We've been getting more and more entries into the slogan contest, and
Hell yeah.
we're really excited about this. That August 31st deadline is coming around the bend here pretty quick. So get your entries in. You know, if you join up, enter the contest, you get the chance to win. Let me see here. There's that one, and then you'll get the chance to win a one-off T-shirt that it'll be very, very limited edition, because there's only going to be 3 of them made. One for you, one for me, and one for Stephanie. So
Whoever you may be.
yeah. So yeah, the contest ends on. Don't give me that, Claire. Just spout stuff out. You can enter as many times as you want.
It's kind of like the Powerball. Just play as much as you want.
Yeah.
We can't give away a Powerball prize. Just
Right.
saying.
But yeah, just get that entry in.
I'm really excited to see I'm really excited to see all of the suggestions that have come in, and they've all been very, very good so far.
Yeah.
I have no complaints, and I'm just like, they just keep getting better, man.
Yeah.
They just keep getting better. Keep them coming, people.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Keep 'em
so
coming.
yeah, that deadline is coming up August 31st. So it's not very far away. So get those entries in.
Can you believe it's almost the end of August?
I know, right?
I feel like March
just
was weird. April and May were like an eternity, and
Yeah.
then June, July, and yeah, August is almost gone. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Phew.
So, but then yes,
Charles, you are not a nobody. You are Charles Logan.
Exactly.
Whatever that may encompass. I don't know your birthday. Otherwise, I'd totally do your birth chart. Yeah, if anybody is curious about the birth chart, I'm learning all about that stuff. So you can be my guinea pigs. Can we use something else for guinea pigs? Because I don't like that. What's something more profound sounding than you can be my guinea pig?
I don't know.
You can be my research assistants.
Research subject.
Research subjects.
That may sound scarier than guinea pig.
Yeah, that's true.
I
And
don't
that
know.
glass you've got poured there reminds me of that meme I shared the other day. It says, optimist, the glass is half full. Pessimist, the glass is half empty. And there was like something about like living in 2020. Is that piss? Kind of looks like it.
That's actually pretty good.
Is it good?
I'm generally not a hard apple cider guy, but that's actually really good. Really good.
Oh,
Oh,
Charles
there you go.
is 11/19. He's a Scorpio. Ooh. Charles is a Scorpio.
I am still working on stuff. I just keep getting stuff come up, and I keep getting
It's part of the function in this household.
yeah, you know, it's the way of life when you have
Chaos
as many
control.
kids as we
Hit tab
do and
to
shit. But
chaos control. Tip hat to oh, that's interesting. Sheila said her birthday is the exact same as
there's
Charles.
another drink.
Sheila, my other little Scorpio. Dang, that's so random. They both.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just do something real quick. Talk for a second. I want to figure something out real quick.
Okay.
Okay, hang on a second. You talk. I'll think for a second.
So, what was I getting back to? On top of the slogan contest, we're also coming up very close. I mean, I think it's just going to be here in the next couple of days. We're going to be very close to, we're very close right now to the 700 likes milestone on Facebook.
Woo, woo.
We're like, at the beginning of the show, just before the beginning of the show, we were at 695. So that's exciting. And we've been telling you we're going to do something special when we hit that 700 likes. And then again, when we hit, 979?
Yeah.
she's very insistent. We can't do 1,000. It's got to be 979.
Yeah.
For
I don't know
some
why,
reason.
So let me get back on track to what I was thinking of. So I have to say, Sheila and Charles, your life path number is 2. Google that shit. Google that stuff. I'm not real familiar with Claire is also a Scorpio. Claire, you want to know your life path number?
I knew that.
You want to know your life path number? But yeah, Sheila and Charles, Google life path number 2. It'll tell you a lot
This
about
is the
yourself.
night of the Scorpios.
Dang, it must be, man. Must be. But yeah, we're entering into Virgo season.
I think I would be you've got that whole Age of Aquarius thing. If we ever entered the Age of Scorpio, I think I would be kind of scared. Scorpios scare me.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Claire, your life path number is 3, the same as mine. Life path number 3 is a very great life path number to have. So, not that 2's bad. I'm just a little biased here. Jeremiah's is a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a 3. So. Oh, hey, Ben's not in the Scorpio club. He's not in the Scorpio club. Okay, Ben, you are. Might as well do it, right? Ben, I'll tell you what your life path number is. It is.
Keep pushing the
8.
the
Ben,
Facebook
yours
page.
is 8.
8?
Yep, Ben, your life path number is 8.
Cool.
Just had to throw it out there.
So, yeah.
Not that you wanted to know, but now you do, so.
Yeah. Well, we should have a numerologist on at some point to go through some of that. We know
she's on my list. She's on my list to reach out.
So, yeah.
She's on my reach to She's on my reach. She's on my list to reach out to.
Are you sure you haven't been drinking anything?
No, I'm high on life, man.
Okay.
God. We've gone way past where we wanted to be, so
yeah.
Plug whatever else. Oh, I do want to plug one thing.
Okay.
So this has nothing to do with paranormal. This actually has to do with the Imagine Greater Things platform. So I've had a lot of people reach out about how, we're very open about the fact that we co-parent with the kids as other parents. And I just wanted to reach out that we're going to be doing a segment on Imagine Greater Things about co-parenting and how we make it work so well. Hoping that anybody who is in the situation of co-parenting and it's not going so great, or, just could use some tips or whatever. We're here to help with that. And so Jeremiah is going to have a sit-down conversation with Brady and my kid's dad, and then I'm going to have a sit-down conversation with Brandy, my kid's other mother. And so anybody who will keep you posted on that, like I said, sorry I'm plugging your other podcast, but not sorry, actually. This might benefit a lot of people. So I just hope that you guys keep your eyeballs out for that. That's coming up in the not too distant future, and it's going to be great. Going to be great conversation, and hopefully, reach some people that might need some help with co-parenting advice.
Yeah, that'll be.
Yep.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, it really will.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So keep plugging the page. Help us get to that 700 likes, and then we're going to do something special for that. And then again for 979.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's going to be fun.
Let's get her on. Let's get her on. It's 7:30.
Okay.
Oh, you want to introduce her?
So, yes, I will.
Our guest.
So, our guest tonight, let me get this, where, oh, there it is. Okay. So, our guest tonight is really cool.
That's like an understatement.
This is a slideshow that'll filter through. This is just pictures of the shop that she's setting up, and there's also a picture of her that'll flash up there. But our guest tonight is KayCey Hadl, or Hadl. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her last name.
I thought it was Hadl. I might be wrong, though. If I had an accent, it sounded totally different, right? But I don't, so...
KayCey is a psychic medium who uses her clairsentience and clairvoyant abilities to communicate with spirit guides, past loved ones, angels, and elemental guides. She's a certified hypnotherapist, prana yogi, holy fire Reiki practitioner, and horticulturalist. She is really cool. The reading that I had with her was phenomenal. She brought out a lot of like past life stuff and whatnot. It lined up exactly how it lined up exactly. You know, there was a lot of that was weird. There was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Collaboration there. With other readings that I've gotten. So
and people bear in mind that readers, as soon as they're done with the readings, they pretty much like forget the reading, and you know these readers don't communicate with how. What am I trying to say? Like, they're not going to go to another reading and be like, hey, this is what I told him. You know what I'm saying? So they're all genuine readings. And bear in mind also that, you know, everybody we have on here, we personally have either, you know, dealt with or gotten readings from. And we are not ever going to promote somebody that we personally don't believe in and their gifts and stuff. And so, did I interrupt you?
No.
Okay, good. So, yes.
Are we ready to bring her on?
Let me say one thing before you call. So, yes, when I got my reading for her as well, it was very emotional for me, the stuff she was pulling out. It was a very spot on. It was very emotional. And I'm talking like I wasn't giving any detail. I wasn't giving any feedback, no detail. And everything that KayCey was bringing up was spot on. And when I'm talking spot on, guys, I'm not talking about a generalized statement like, oh, you're having a really bad year or you're having a great week, or I'm talking like specific traumatic circumstances that, without giving specific dates or names, I mean, it encompasses everything that dealing with past baggage and stuff like that. So I had to say that. So yeah, let's call her. Let's get her on.
Okay, here we go.
She's so pretty. She's got those deep brown eyes, man. She's so pretty.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Why, hello there.
Charles, you only
Hello.
Hello.
Put my ears in. Hold on, I gotta put my ears in here. Or keep talking. Oops.
Stephanie doesn't have her headphones in yet, so she can't hear you.
Oh, there. It's
You're fine.
We're halfway there. We're halfway there, KayCey. Oh, you know, totally wasn't thinking about it. I don't have telepathy here. I can't read your mind. There. Can you hear me now? Wait, you could always hear me, but now I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's not as loud as Jeremiah.
Okay. Well, I'll try to turn it up here a little bit. Okay, go for that. See how that
better?
goes.
Is that better?
About the same.
Well, shit. Okay.
Call
Try
that
that.
technicalities.
How about now?
I think it's the same.
Well, crap.
I think
Okay.
actually it might be worse now.
Oh, God. Turn it back down. Go the other direction. Go the other direction.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Is it? Well, we'll just, you know, it's just
talk
part
again,
of it,
Stephanie.
man. Is that better? Can you hear me at all?
I can kind of hear you.
Shit.
I got to get a new mic over there.
Yes, it's the mic problem, I think, because I talk very loud. So
Yeah, you do.
she's like,
That's okay.
that's all right. People can hear me. My deaf patients can hear me. So
Is that any better, KayCey?
maybe.
It's about the same, but we can roll with it.
Okay, we'll roll with it. Oh, by the way, Charles says he only believes in Santa Claus. Then, Charles, technically that means you believe in Vikings. Santa Claus was a Viking, KayCey. Did you know that?
Well, one of the legends.
Right? Oh my gosh,
Okay.
girl.
Yeah, you know what? I can't hear her at all.
So we're gonna have to switch this up again. Here you go.
Is that better? Is that better? Maybe.
Not really.
Oh my God. It's not the microphone, it's me. It's me.
How about that?
Fool me once.
About the same.
About the same.
Oh, that's getting a little better.
Oh, is it getting better?
Getting a little better.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
How's that?
Maybe.
Kind of.
Kind of. What the hell? We jinxed it at the beginning of the show because we're like, oh, it sounds good. And now it's like, well, crap, we
I'm like
jinxed
Jeremiah. I'm kind of hard of hearing, so I'm like, It's all that loud machinery.
Right?
For so many years. I can't hear diddly.
Okay, so Carl said, my mic is booming on the podcast. It's picking up the audio with the phone you're calling from.
How's that?
Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
A little better?
If you talk very clear and methodical, will be okay. But if you get all crazy and start slurring your words together, I won't be able to understand you.
Okay. Okay, I will try to...
this.
Maybe. I'm not that tall. There we go. Maybe that'll be... Maybe it's better. Maybe. Hopefully. Maybe we can make it work at least.
It's still pretty distorted. I can hear Jeremiah clear as a bell.
Man, I have faith in you, husband. I have faith in him to figure this out. Gotta have faith. Like George Michael said, gotta have faith. Wasn't it him that said that? George Michael?
There you go. It's getting better.
Is it getting better?
Mm-hmm.
Keep it coming, honey. Keep it coming.
There you go.
Now, are we making progress?
Yep, better.
Oh, great.
Now you have to turn it down a tiny bit.
Turn it down a little bit. Okay.
I think you got it.
We got it. We're good. We are good to go. All right. So I knew I had all the faith in you, husband.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. You know, I used to live by that. That motto, fake it till you make it. It worked for me. Some people don't agree with that, but I actually kind of, you look really, really puzzled.
Okay. Now it's just bits and pieces. So you might have to repeat Jeremiah what she says, or y'all gonna have to like huddle together like you love each other or something.
Try this.
I'm
gonna have to. I just saw an adult walk across our backyard, so I'm gonna have to go see what's going on out there.
Oh yeah, might want to. Well, there's a really bad like echoing sound, like a bad drive-through window sound happening right now. It seems like there might be electronics too close together or something. I'm hearing this awful thing there. How's that, KayCey? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's still distorted. So
I'll go check. You talk.
Okay. All right, let me put my headphones back on. Okay, I am so sorry, KayCey.
Don't be sorry.
We always I never can quite get this ironed out with our tech issues that always seem to pop up. I think I've got it. You know, I'll work with it and think I've got it, and then but you know it just seems to not ever actually pan out. So
it's just Stephanie. It's all her empathy right there. She probably just kind of makes the mic distorted from her vibration that she puts out. What I find is a lot of empaths have issues with electronics.
It very well might be. I mean, we might have to get some like soda light or something and cover her up in soda light.
Oh, that's funny.
So, how's things been going?
Good. Just finishing up all the little small P's and Q's, getting ready to open up the shop, doing the human thing and mopping the floor and finish, I call it the construction clean out. So all the sawdust and all the cleanup on that side of things, and trying to get the website revamped and the new booking program on, because we'll have a lot more teachers, different readers that will be coming in doing classes, and
very cool.
Just a whole new platform. So taking that bigger step up is what I say, and being there for more of the public that's reaching that point of, well, I don't like to say ascension, but the higher energies, the opening up to more of the consciousness and providing a platform for people to be able to do something about it.
Very cool. Very cool.
The weird stuff that we all like.
That's awesome, man. I was so happy. I was talking to one of the people, I believe, that helped you, that went up and helped you kind of cleanse the space. And
oh yeah, mm-hmm.
he was very excited about that, and I was just really happy about you having that opportunity.
Yeah, so, me too. It took about a year to build it, so it's definitely been a long time coming.
Yeah, and I'm sure probably COVID didn't help much.
No, it didn't. But I always say it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. I know that sounds bad to say it like that, but I kind of needed the time to get different construction people in there to do different items, because it's an older building, and the refurbishment we did was, right around the super expensive range. We'll put to you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just was really hard to find the right people in the construction industry that could actually get in there in a timely manner. And it was actually a nice break. And that may sound funny, but I actually enjoyed it. But now it's, for me, especially, it's a big pair of shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping into that role where you're, even though I do fairs, it took me, some time to call myself a psychic medium, because there's only so many kids' birthday parties you go to, and people look at you and go, well, what do you do for a living? And you go, well, you're like, am I going to put it out there today? Am I going to do it? I'm a psychic medium. And then the parent gets up and looks at you and walks around to the other side of the pool.
Yep. Been there, done that. I get that completely.
Yeah. So, it was just a different change. And it's honestly, it's been an experience. It's been wonderful. I'm glad I have the construction background to be able to, kind of put my dream place together, I'll say, because I did all the general contracting on it, and that's the hard work. I tell you what, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, that's just really cool. Like I said, I'm super happy for you that you've had that opportunity. So, just for the folks that are watching that don't know you, why don't you just share a little bit about yourself with them?
Well, where do we want to start? You want to start where the metaphysical side came in, or just overall?
Just whatever you feel like sharing.
Well, okay. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I went to Kansas State University, and I got my Bachelor of Science in Horticulture in 2005. I'm going to age myself here. And I love outside. I love plants. I love rocks. I love trees. I love anything along those lines. And I worked out in the landscape field, had my own company for about 7 years in South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Had a lot of award-winning designs that we were basically a construction and design firm. Did really, really well. 2009, I took yoga teacher training for pranayama yoga. And that pretty much changed my whole view on life. So I took my regular landscape company and I changed it from just a normal company to a full organic company. So my company just specialized in organics and installation. And then after that I did a Reiki, Holy Fire Reiki training 1 and 2. And that opened up so many more doors. And that's when I started to see more of my abilities come online. And after I completed Reiki training, and anyone that's done it, it's kind of like you see a plant and it's green, but after you complete Reiki training, it's like neon green,
right.
So it opens up all those senses. That was amazing in itself. And so I did that. I did hypnotherapy training in Dallas, and that opened up so many doors. I did a lot of past life clearing, a lot of family lineage clearing. And after I cleared so many lives and so many different things, my psychic abilities just kept, coming on board more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really started to work more in the healing field after that. So I do a lot of in-person healings. I do a lot of phone healings with Reiki, and just kind of my own modality. I always feel like as healers, we kind of change as we move forward. But I kind of do Reiki with hypnosis at the same time, which is interesting because all the different chakras, they hold different vibrational resonance. And so a lot of times what will happen during a session is tap into someone's chakra, and then there'll be a message there, or something that somebody said to them when they were younger, or something that's stuck there. And basically I just pull that forward and talk to them about it and what I'm getting there, and then we do some, I call it power programming, but it's changing those subconscious beliefs into more positive beliefs, or just rewriting the story. Because when we're in that subconscious realm, rewriting those, I'll say, trauma incidents,
mm-hmm.
stuff along those lines, help people to be able to move forward past them. So I always say we start with one thing when we move to another. I haven't always been a psychic medium. I've done a lot of construction, and I kind of feel like those things have gelled me to be able to communicate with various different dimensions. I always tell people I'm a dimensional switcher, so I can go from the first dimension up to the 12th dimension, but we all know that we go a lot higher than that. But
right.
For me, it's just like a radio dial, being able to tune into those different dimensions and see, feel, hear, experience different elements that are there. And I find like communicating with the elemental realm, I really didn't start doing that until the past year. And it's kind of a funny story behind it, but this one day, me and my kid were walking out to my truck, and I'm getting ready to get in the truck, and my son goes, Mom, somebody's saying hi to you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody here. I was getting ready to take him to school. And I'm looking around. He's like, Mom, there's somebody saying hi to you. I'm like, okay. So I close my eyes, and I tune in. I look up, and this whole tree is full of all these trolls, right? And like, some people believe in fairies, some people believe in trolls, some people believe in elves. Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't believe in them until I started seeing them everywhere. And that was my affirmation to me, was my son being like, hey, Mom, somebody's saying hi to you. Don't you hear them? And, so I tuned into it, and I had, a lot of my friends work in the same field I do as psychic mediums, and I called one of them. I'm like, am I losing my marbles? But that's when, that's when I started communicating with the elemental realm. And I tell you what, for me, there's so many elementals out there. I kind of turn it off during the day, so I'm not seeing it all the time. Otherwise, I'm constantly seeing all the house elves, or the tree elves, or the trolls, or the gnomes, and all that. But there comes a time I turn it back on, and I'll catch stuff running around, and it's definitely wild, but it's kind of amazing. I must have had like 6 butterflies following me around today, like landing on me. I'm like,
right.
Oh, what's going to happen here soon? But that's pretty much, we'll say, the gist of where I started, or part of my story, or whatever you want to say. I'm originally from Lawrence, and
mm-hmm.
I've lived in South Carolina, Florida, Colorado, traveled around a bit. But here I am now in Kansas City.
That's really cool. So I have to share a story.
I hope it's a good one.
It is. It's kind of funny, at least in my mind. It's funny. So
okay.
I'm at the. Hey, Randy. I'm at the. It's the opening day of KayCey Metaphysical. And this was, I don't remember which one it was last year. I want to say it was the spring one, really. But I'm outside, and I'm really, really nervous, because this is going to be like the second fair that I have read at. Okay, so I'm outside. I've got my bare feet in the grass, because that's just kind of what I do to ground and connect with the energy I need to do effective readings for people. And so I'm just kind of hanging out there, just letting my energy flow. And I look over, or I look at my phone, and it's like it's time for the fair to open. I've already missed the opening circle and everything, and it's time for the fair to open. But I look over and I realize I'm not the only one out there doing this, because there you are, and you're standing there with your bare feet in the mulch right next to a tree, and you're touching the tree, and you're just sitting there meditating. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one that's running behind and but can't skip this time. Did that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
So but yeah, that was actually I think I don't know that it was the first time I ever saw you at the fair there, but that was the first time I actually, outside of the reading that you gave me, that actually I never actually told you this, but that actually, just that little experience that you didn't even know anything about, actually did a lot to help me at that fair. So, but it was really cool.
I find trees to be absolutely magical, and I usually take a walk every day. There's this one special place I like to go in Kansas City, and I'll stop and I'll talk to the trees. And for me, what I usually do is I put my hand on the tree, and I ask permission first, because plants, trees, they're all living, breathing beings. So I don't want to meet an angry, pissed off tree that don't want to talk to me. So
right.
Anyways, I'll ask permission, and they say it's okay. I put my hand on them. I figure there's masculine trees, there's more feminine trees, and each one that I see, I'll get a vision in my mind of what that tree's particular purpose for is in the forest. And it's pretty amazing to me, because there'll be these little shit trees, is what I say, like the ornery shits running around the forest, right? And then there's the grandmother tree, who's like trying to collect all the little trees and get them in line. And then there's the grandfather tree, who's usually like the old oak. They all have this different specific purpose, and they all communicate. And it's amazing to me too, like how many more of the elemental beings come out at nighttime. And I tell you what, I try not to be in the forest at nighttime, A, because it's dark and I'm still scared of the dark in the age of 39, but B, I hear so many more things talking and moving around. I'm like, there's too many more elementals at my house. I don't need any more little creatures to take care of and follow me home, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. But, yeah. I know exactly what you mean, actually.
Yeah, I always ask the elementals around my house if they will protect the house and watch over the flowers, but stay outside of the house. Don't come inside, stay outside, because otherwise I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I've got some troll just staring at me. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need that. That's a weird way to wake up. And I always say it scares my son. He's not a seer. He's a hearer. He hears everything. So that makes it even worse for him, because I don't really hear. I see and I feel and I know. I hear sometimes, but it's different. Anyways, I asked them to stay outside, and this one day I had a client that came over for hypnosis, and I usually try to have my clients at my house because it's in Lenexa area, and it's just so much quieter than versus at the shop. It's it's on Central Avenue. There's cars and whizzing by, and it's loud, and people are honking. But so I asked them to watch over the house. Well, I forgot to tell the elementals that I had an appointment that day, and once the lady goes to open the door, and it slammed shut and smacked her finger.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell all the little elementals that you were coming. I felt horrible, but it's like, that for me, that communication, it's all, I don't say it out loud. I say it in my mind, but letting the protectors around the house know that people are coming over is really important. But
so should I try this or it's not working?
You can try it.
Can you hear me, KayCey? Maybe. No.
No.
Damn it.
So, you have a...
Anything?
Do you have a question for her?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to be able to talk if I wanted to.
Okay, well, here, switch with me, and maybe that
Hey,
might work.
KayCey, can you hear me at all? Can she hear me at all? Nope.
Can
Can you hear Jeremiah?
you hear me?
I can hear you.
Huh. I don't know what it is. Something about your... I was telling, after you walked out a while ago, I was telling KayCey we may need to just get you like a Soda Light jacket or something, cover you in Soda Light or some Sugar Light or something to shield the... You may have Lena's curse about the electronics or something.
I don't think...
Shungite. I think you're thinking of Shungite.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Lena
Yeah.
said that she can hear me. Lena can hear me.
Well, they can all hear you. It's only in the phone system here, but it's weird that it doesn't matter which microphone it is. They can hear me, but they can't hear you.
Wow.
And it's only in the phone system. I don't understand it. I'm gonna have to
That's really weird.
figure that one out.
I don't know, man. That's okay. You go forth. Go forth on the adventure.
Well, I'm stealing my microphone back
Okay.
then.
Okay.
So
That's fine. I'll just chime in and she can't hear me. But she probably knows that I'm saying something about her.
I have to say, when we had I don't remember which fair it was at exactly, but when I sat down,
Kansas City.
Well, yeah, but I don't remember which one.
Oh, yeah.
So that when I sat down and did that reading with you, I've never had a reading quite like that, but yet you were exactly, you were completely, perfectly on point with a lot of stuff that was going on, a lot of stuff that I had experienced, and a lot of stuff that had been shared with me from other mediums that I've worked with. So I just, share a little bit, if you don't mind, about the intuitive side of the readings that you do.
Okay, absolutely. Well, so basically, I always tell people I'm a super honest person. Whoever's friends with me and will say, outside of work, I don't lie. I'm a horrible liar. I'm always straightforward to the point. I'm an Aries, unfortunately, fortunately, with the Cancer moon and Scorpio rising. So, I tend to be a bit intense and straightforward to the point. But what I find is the information for me, it just kind of, I'm clear cognizance, I'm clear knowing. So the information just starts coming in, so what I find is usually I get a little bit of your past, I'll get a little bit of future. I always ask people, if there's something you want to focus on that, but what I get is what I give. So I don't really sugarcoat things at all. I'm not good at that.
And I will say I remember that vividly, that you did warn me before that reading. You said, okay, here's the deal, I don't sugarcoat anything. So you did warn me.
I do. I always try to tell people because everyone likes a different flavor of ice cream. Most everybody likes butter pecan, but everybody likes a different flavor. Well, I'm going to be not everyone's favorite. And I will say I've had some people sit down and I've told them the truth, and not everyone wants to hear the truth.
Right.
That's a hard bite, but, I figure if people are really sitting down and want to know the truth, want to know what's going on with themselves, that's what I'm there for. And a lot of times, I'm communicating directly with guides. I kind of feel like as we've been moving forward in this new energy, I've started to see people's guides more. Usually I just see their colors, but now it's like seeing their faces and all the details behind it. I do a lot of elemental readings as well, so I always tell people, you can get a psychic reading, but I can't do the elemental reading at the same time, because those are kind of different dimensions, different focuses. But if you
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of dragons, I get a lot of dragons stepping forward, or house elves, or fairies, or pixies, trolls. And what usually happens with that is I get where they are in your house and what they're doing and what they're working with you and what's going on. But it's basically just tapping into people's energy field and getting their specific resonance where they're at that specific time.
Right.
A lot of times, I'll get what's coming straight forward, and then I'll close my eyes and check in clairvoyantly, because spirit will give me so many things at once. It's just like reading a pictogram. We're reading these images, and I always check in clairvoyantly just to double check to make sure that that I'm reading the information right. I always find that every fair, I've got a different guide stepping forward, giving me all these different images, and I'm like, oh, what? I gotta learn how to read these different images. Yay me! But it's a lot of times I used to feel everyone's uh, physicality. So let's say if you had a heart problem, I would immediately feel that heart problem when you sat down in my chair, and I would usually continue to feel that the entire reading. Well, as I'll say, upgraded, as our energy has changed, as as psychics we evolve, that's also changed. So if someone sits down and they have a heart problem, I'll feel it for a brief instant, and then it will dissipate. But a lot of times, I'll see people's colors. Seeing auras for me, it's just changing the dial. So I just set the intention to see their colors, and then it's like seeing the painting all right there. And with colors, different browns and blacks in the body are usually less circulation or problems or anything along those lines. But for me, it's since I'm such a dimensional switcher, um, I'm just picking up on what that specific vibration that person is putting out. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times their past loved ones, depending on who it was, will come forward and start giving me all the messages behind that. And I always remember I gave this one lady, who works in we'll say in the industry of reading, and she had the most powerful dragon, okay, that stepped forward, and I had to take off my glasses, and I was sweating because he was so big and so hot, and I'm like, this usually doesn't happen, but you have this huge dragon here. So sometimes it's really intense. And I will say, like, at the end of the day, after the fair is over, or after I've done a ton of readings, I have to take a walk, take a shower, strip down all my clothes, because they carry vibration. They hold vibration for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll end up walking around with that person's stuff stuck to me. Not that every person has it's baggage or anything like that, but I just don't need Mary Beth's stuff that I finished reading for her stuck to my shirt all day.
Right.
Sometimes, depending on, I'll get different smells. Like if I'm doing mediumship readings, I'll start getting, depending on if it's a woman or man, but smells will start coming in a couple days before I do the reading. It's really funny. Or people will start showing up at my house, get past loved ones. I have a roommate who's just a wonderful person, and his dad, who has passed, just showed up at the house, and he's standing there staring at me in my bedroom. And I have the specific, we'll say, rules that I don't no spirits in my bedroom, right? And I'm like, why are you here? He's like, well, I want to talk to you. And I just pretty much said, hey, my office hours are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you want to meet me downstairs in the morning for coffee, then we can communicate. And poof, he was gone. So that morning I get up and I walk down the stairs, and there stands his dad just staring at me. I'm like, well, shit.
He remembered.
So sometimes every person has different things that come forward. But the most wildest thing that I've kind of had happen lately is I'd gotten up one morning and I walked into the bathroom, and there stands this huge alien just standing there in my bathroom, and I'm like, I'm in my pajamas, buddy. I'm not dressed. What do you want? Well, I want to talk to you. Okay, they don't say it, they don't speak it, because a lot of, we'll say, aliens communicate telepathically.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing I will say with me is, I'm very telepathic. My son's very telepathic, which in itself is super frustrating because I can't have any mom secrets, Like, yes, Santa is real. And then I got my kid going over there. No, he's not, Mom. You said he's not real in your head. I'm like, God dang it. So anyways, yeah, that's a fun one. But so this alien's just stand there in my bathroom, and I'm like, well, this is, once again, this is not my office hours. If you want to meet me at my shop later, when I get there, we can communicate. So jump in my truck and I'm driving, and I'm like, whoa. All of a sudden, I'm just like looking around, and it's like I'm driving and I'm thinking to myself, I really shouldn't be driving. I was just not in my body. And when you're not in your body, it's really hard to do human things, is what I say. So I'm like, I finally get to the shop and I show up, and there stands that alien ready to, like, give his messages over. Some days are a little wilder than others, and a lot of them have to do with what usually is going on, astrology, or which portal is opened up and what beings are coming forward. But
right.
What I get for people is the messages that they need to hear. I don't always give them the messages they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I do a lot of past life readings, and with past life readings, people are so fascinated by past life readings. And I do past life hypnosis as well, which is similar but different.
Right.
But with past life readings, I always have to close my eyes for that. And what I always tell people is, we haven't always been humans. Sometimes we've been aliens, gnomes, trolls, centaurs, cyclops, all sorts of different things. Because I tell you what, when I'm seeing somebody's past life and they've been a centaur, do you know how silly I feel being like, well, in this life you're a centaur and you have these really big horns and your hooves are really shiny. They're just looking at me like, lady, you are crazy. But a lot of times what happened in that life is the lessons that they're going through in their current life, and there's just so much relevance to that. I will say that the last time I did this wonderful past life reading for this man, it was pretty amazing. But he had been a yacht, or a captain, a boat captain in his past life, and in his current life he was buying a yacht. It was really wild. But there's always something new that comes forward during the readings.
Uh-huh. Wow.
That's really incredible.
That really
I want to know if I was ever a troll. Was I a troll? She can't hear me.
What she said in here.
Stephanie wants to know if she was ever a troll.
I don't get that she was a troll. When I look at her, she looks like an elf. Like I can see her long ears in that past life, and it's kind of like a bluish green skin underneath. And she looks very much how she did now. That's where like all her a lot of her intuitive abilities comes from is part of that life. And I feel like you're really good with some of the channelings of the earth. Are you a good grower?
Like plants and stuff?
Yeah, do you like your plants?
So interestingly enough, I've never really gotten into growing a lot of plants aside from like an aloe plant and chives. I love growing chives. We have can she hear me?
She
kind of.
We have a garden, and unfortunately most of our garden is, well, where our garden is at, kind of flooded, and so it killed a lot of our plants. But the okra is thriving very well, and I'm always drawn to plants. Like I love plants. The idea.
I see you like running through the garden, but you look like this. I call it a house elf or a tree elf, and you're actually female, which I don't see a whole lot of female ones, but you're just so cute, and it's like all the butterflies are chasing you as you're running through the garden, and you're just really giggly. Like it was a super it was a super cute life.
I must have been a Sagittarius in that life too.
Maybe. Now you're very much a Libra, aren't you?
No, I am a Sagittarius.
You are a Sagittarius.
I am. I'm a Sagittarius. Jeremiah is actually a Libra rising. My grandma was a Libra. Sophie, our 2-year-old, is a Libra. I love Libras. Like, I love them. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Yeah.
I love Libras too. I have a lot of Libra friends.
My rising is Gemini, 1 degree.
Oh. Yeah, there's always the dark and light side of the Gemini, the twin.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
She didn't really understand that until she married me.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But
I can see that.
My sun sign is 1 degree Gemini off of the Taurus cusp. So it's especially bad for her since.
Well, and that's the exact same rising sign I have. I have KayCey is the 1 degree Gemini off the Taurus cusp. Also for my rising, his sun is that. My rising is that. So yeah, you meet a ton of fun when you meet me, I guess.
I tell you what, there's so much information about a person's self in the birth chart. And
oh my God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the new astrologer at the last KayCey Meta. I think her name was Danielle. I could be wrong. Anyways, she looks at me and goes, "You have no earth in your chart." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." She's like, "But you're all earth." And it's funny because I'm a horticulturist. That's what I went to school for. I can grow just about anything. I'm going to just put it to you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "But you're all earth." And she's like, "It doesn't make any sense." And then she stopped herself. She's like, "When I find somebody that doesn't have any earth in their chart and they come across as being nothing but earth, it's usually because they've already mastered the earth." And to me, that made perfect sense because
right.
I tell you what, like, I put stuff in the ground, it grows 6 times as big as it possibly could ever grow.
Wow.
And it's just one of those natural tendencies. My dad's a gardener, he loves doing that. That's kind of all those things I grew up with. But I tell you what, nature and weather, I'll tell you one short story, but this one time me and my son were getting ready for bed, and I was reading him a story, and he would not sit down. This is when he was maybe like 5 or 4, I don't remember. He would not sit down. He was like bouncing on the bed, right? I'm like, "Kid, you need to sit down." He keeps bouncing. I go, "Alexander George Smith, you need to sit down." And right about then, the thunder outside goes, "Coo, coo, coo." And he stops, and he looks at me and goes, "Mama, did you do that?" And I said, "Yes, I did. Now sit down, boy." Right? Okay. So then, right, I'm like, thank you.
I would do that. Right? I would do that.
Right? So then I start reading the story again, and he's up there bouncing on the bed, and I said, "Alexander George, sit down." Boo, boo, boo. The thunder cracks in, and he sits down, his eyes twice as wide as they were the first time. And I'm like, "Boy, when I tell you to sit down, sit down." I'm like, "You know what Mama's good at. Now sit down and behave yourself." I would say that's the only time that's happened, but holy moly, I have to be... There's something with rain and the weather and plants. If I start thinking about rain or that I want some clouds to move in, the clouds move in. And it's just like...
Bella does that too. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Bella, my 10-year-old,
right?
She does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really wild. And it's been like that since... I don't know how long, but I can always remember every time we would finish planting an install, right? Like moving all these plants around, putting them in the ground. The next day, after moving all these plants around, putting them in the ground, it would pour rain. Every time, hands down. Anyways.
And it was kind of... we've got a lot of experiences like that in our house too.
Wow.
We have a house full of old souls. Everyone in the house is old soul.
Not every one of them. Not every one of them.
Who isn't?
I don't think Madeline is, and I don't think Lennon is.
I disagree. I think they're old souls. They're just not as intuitively or magically inclined.
Okay, well I agree with that.
But it gets crazy sometimes, because they have this knowledge and this so we have this one girl in particular, and she's actually the one that's going to be 13 this next week, and she has that. Of course, she has other things going on. She has anxiety issues and whatnot. But she has this way of when she's spatting or arguing with you. She has this way of looking at you and just bringing up the stupidest little, most common sense detail that makes you feel about the size of an ant. So.
I'm praying for her future spouse, just so you know.
And
I don't even pray, so that says something.
It's challenging sometimes to in this house.
I've gotten good at it.
Old souls, just to.
I've gotten really good at dealing with that, though.
Yeah. We have to though.
Yeah, we got to be on top at least one step, or at least convince her we're one step ahead. Mm-hmm. But in reality, it's like, oh shit.
We have one, and not only is it a house full of old souls, KayCey, but it's also a house full of manifestors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that gets interesting. And even Melanie and Madeline have that one down. Or Madeline and Lennon. I'll get through the whole list here in a minute. But Madeline and Lennon have that one down. The ones that aren't quite as intuitively inclined as the others, they're still manifestors.
Yeah.
Lennon can think about something, and it's not long before Grandpa's producing it for him.
Oh, yeah.
That is so cute.
Oh, yeah. So cute. And KayCey, he's the only boy in house, so, yeah, the rest are girls. So, yeah.
I tell you what, I've learned to be very careful with my manifestation abilities.
Oh, my God, yes.
And because the other day I was driving to work, and I drive a big red truck. We'll just put to you like that, right? And it is a V8, and it burns gas like anyone else's business.
I love it.
And I'm right. I know. I call it the contractor truck.
Ooh.
Anyway, so I'm driving there, and like I'm almost to the shop, and I start thinking, I'm like, I really won't need this truck anymore.
Oh my God!
I kind of love this truck, but I don't really need it. Maybe I'll get me a new car. And I'm at the stoplight, and the light turned green. And I went to go, and I kind of let off the gas, and this freaking BMW comes plowing through the red light, and is like maybe a foot away from knocking. Well, it would have been him that got knocked one or two, but just. About plowed right into me, and I'm like, you know what? I need to stop thinking I want to get a new car when I'm driving, because I almost just had a wreck, and it wasn't even my fault. And that, it didn't scare me, because there's very few things that scare me. But holy moly, I was like, okay, let's keep the thoughts positive and not think about needing a new car or wanting a new car when I'm driving, because I don't need to wreck it to get a new one.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, the manifestation, I kind of got myself into I'm not going to go into detail. Just when we're off camera, I can tell you this story, but let's just say that I'd had enough of something, and so I sent out my intention, and it worked within a matter of, very quickly, and it's still working on a particular individual. And it's not for the positive. And all I did was ask Karma to, Amazon Prime delivery truck it and, speed that shit up. And it did. And it's still happening. And you do, man. Intention is everything. And KayCey, can you hear me?
Kind of.
Intention is everything, and people don't realize how powerful they really are, I believe. That's like, there was one time that my daughter, she wanted school to be canceled. Well, miraculously enough, it snowed that night, and they canceled school. Okay. Well, she failed to mention she wished it would have been canceled for 2 days, because it was canceled for 1 day, but not 2. And I'm just like, see, Bella, it's all about, you have to be specific when you're setting that intention. I don't know if KayCey can hear me. But when you're setting the intention, it's everything, and you have to be so specific. And so that's why people, I can't tell you how many people will come to me like, you've got to teach me how to do this stuff. You've got to teach me how to do this stuff. And I'm like, so you really need to be careful, because, you have to be so careful, and it's not something to play around with manifesting, because there's a lot of things that can happen that you don't even foresee because of what you're manifesting.
Right.
Like this particular individual, I literally just asked that, I was tired of a certain situation, and I just asked that, her health, their health, his health be affected in a manner that not a positive manner, and it's still happening. The reflected karma and reflected what this particular individual has done to some other particular individuals, and it's still happening.
Yeah.
And
that was a good strong lesson for you.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it was.
Repeat the lesson, Jeremiah, because I can't really hear stuff.
It was the situation that she was talking about. It was a lesson in being careful about what you wish for, because there's always karma to deal with, and so yeah, it was.
Tell her about how you were like, I was like, so I did a thing, and Jeremiah's like, what'd you do? And I said, I told him exactly what I did, and he was like, I need to know exactly what you said, because do we need to undo something?
And those were literally the words out of my mouth. She told me, kind of what she had put out there, and it was on the surface at first glance it was it sounded pretty negative, and I'm like, oh shit. What exactly did you say? Because we need to know if I need to undo something here. But it was all, like we said earlier, it was all more of a karmic thing. It wasn't really asking for anything, specifically or unwarranted negative. It was just a karmic thing that she was putting out there, but still something you got to be careful with, because karma can still bite you in the ass over that. So,
but KayCey, it worked almost instantly. Like what I did that morning, it there was a very interesting simultaneous circumstance that happened right after I did this, and it was not even, what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Just keep going.
Oh, yeah. Just like I said, I can't go into like specific detail about who or what or when or where or why or how, but just know that what I asked for started and hasn't stopped. So.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't think she can hear me.
I can hear bits and pieces, but it's not real clear.
I'm sorry. I'm
it's okay.
Maybe the next time you come on, I'll have all this stuff worked out.
We keep saying that. Eventually, it'll happen, right? Tell her in a nutshell what I said about.
So, just in a nutshell, she was talking about the, that circumstance, and just repeat it for me.
I said that I can't go into the who, what, why, where, when, or how. But just that when I did that, it happened really fast, and it's still happening.
Yeah,
like, the particular
results
individual.
It's relentless. The results of that manifestation started to materialize really quick, and it's still actually going.
It's getting worse by the day. Yeah.
Sometimes it's like we forget when you finally get to a point, especially with how the energy is right now. But when we finally get to that point where I say I step in our big people shoes. Okay, we step into our power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't realize how powerful we are. And
Right.
I never, how I grew up, I never considered myself powerful ever. Not one iota, but holy moly, it's those manifestations that make you go, what the F?
Right.
Like, whoo, I guess I need to start thinking about what I'm thinking about before I even think about it.
Yep.
It's true, man.
It really is.
It's true.
And I will tell you, the other day I had a specific person in my life that I was like, you know what? I'm tired of your shit, and let's be done. Let's be done with this energetic exchange. And I kind of just was like, all right. I set the intention to be done with it. Well, it got done really fast. And it, I kind of sat back and it made me ask myself, well, is that what you really wanted? It is what I wanted, but there's other persons involved.
Right.
And it's like you always think about the 360 point of view.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to affect X, Y, and Z, is it really worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, it's like I'm such a honest person, and I usually have very clear intentions, but sometimes I'm just like, ooh, butterflies, squirrels, trees. I get really distracted, right? And I'll start thinking about something I want to manifest, and then I get distracted, and it's kind of like, out there floating around, and I forgot about it, and then all of a sudden it appears on my doorstep, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But
So we had a question in the chat earlier from one of the viewers, and they were just wanting to know if you had, and it was actually a guy by the name of Charles that asked this, I believe. They were wanting to know if during your coming into your gifts and everything, did you have a mentor? Or are you self-taught? Now, I know you obviously had a mentor during like the Reiki training and stuff like that, but as far as like the psychic gifts, did you have a mentor, or are you self-taught?
I will say that 90% of everything I do is channeled. When I first started out, I was very clairsentient. I feel very deeply. I can pick up a stone and tell you what's attached to it, or who held it, or the meaning, or where it raises vibration in the body. That's really where I first started out, was doing stone readings. And I love rocks. I don't care, crystals, rocks, whatever you want to call them. I love them. That's just my thing. But there's a lady, Sage Goddess. She's got a big store, and she does a lot of, YouTube broadcasts and talks about all these different stones. And for me, I know over 600 different types of plants and their Latin name and all that. So I always say I'm like a encyclopedia of knowledge, right? So with stones, we'll say I just remember what they are and how to use them and what their names are, and I kind of just encode it, and it's just, for me, it's really easy when it comes to we'll say earthly things, trees, plants, rocks, all that just comes so naturally to me. So I can hear one thing and just remember it.
Wow.
But I will tell you, I've read a ton of books. The hypnosis, I did training on that, but Brian Weiss, Michael Newton, John Edwards, Sylvia Brown, when she was popular, because I really started my, we'll say, psychic journey when I was 15, just reading regular playing cards. And, I'm really self-taught, but all the, besides from books, a lot of, I just know how to do things. It just comes to me. I do a lot of group meditations, which meditation's a little different from hypnosis, as in there's no response during meditation, as versus hypnosis, it's a give and take platform. But I really channel the information. It just kind of naturally comes to me. So I would say I'm self-taught, but I love reading books. When you start seeing all these different elemental beings, you probably grab like 15 books and you're like, oh, what's that one? Oh, what's that one? Besides them showing me things and telling me what to do, I can remember learning stone magic and, my guide coming to me and saying, talking about the stone and how to use it on somebody's body. And when you're pulling the energy, we'll say from the heavens, you pull it in, and you transfer it down, and then you wave your hand over the stone to magnetize it. So a lot of that stuff was definitely self-taught.
Okay.
I'm a really, 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 really old soul. So I've seen a lot of my past lives that I've lived where I've been. They always show me the bad lives where I'm like the murderer, or I'm like the Mayan that's standing on all the skulls and I've killed all these people, or I'm the warrior. They never showed me the good lives at first, all the lives where I've been the healers. It took, a good 100 lives for me to get through. Then they finally started showing me the lives I wanted to see, right? But I was thinking about Stephanie's comment about the manifestations, and I just want to say the energy right now is very magnetic.
Yes.
And I think that's why the manifestations are more potent, more instant, is because it's so magnetic out there. And I find that when I set the intention to do something or for something to come to me, I'm just like a huge magnet, and it suddenly appears. So
but this happened, this wasn't recent.
What'd she say?
It was what she was talking about wasn't like recent. That was probably about a year ago.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But the energy has been building to where it is now for a while. So
Yeah.
Oh
Woo.
yeah. Like, for example, this, case in point, and this is a simple one, but so we a few weeks ago, we went to Lawrence to go see our good friend Lena and then everybody at the Village Witch, right? Well, I'm in there looking at all their new things, and I see this box, and I'm just like, man, I want that box. And it was really pretty. It was wood. It was carved. It had white paint on it. It had birds. It was just really pretty. And I just kept thinking, God, I want that box, but I didn't have the extra cash to, pay for it. Well, then what happens? One of the lovely ladies that works in there said, I want to give you something, and went over and got that box and gave it to me.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
and
real cute.
It's true, man. It's like you really don't know what you're capable of.
Right.
Yeah.
And it goes for anything. Let's see here. There was another question, and this is
Can
more,
she do it on the phone, or do you have to be in person?
Yeah, this is more along the business end of things. But do you do readings by phone or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Go ahead.
Well, I'll just say phone readings in person, readings in person versus phone readings for me are the same. If not, phone readings are better because I don't have the person in front of me. I can tap directly into their energy over the phone, and there's no visual, we'll say, synopsis that's there. It's all energetic. So I do a lot of phone readings, and I actually really, really enjoy those. And what's nice about it is people can, take their lunch break and get a reading. And it's just, for me, it's just instant connection, but it's all energetics.
Ask her.
Right. That's cool. Okay.
I have a question. Ask her, when she's talking to you and I, or when she first met you and I, what was the energy from her first impression when she met you, separate, when she met you and then when she met me, what was the takeaway? What was the energy without talking to us or anything?
Did you hear that, KayCey?
No.
Okay, so the Stephanie's question was like when you first met her and I, what was your takeaway from the energy you experienced with that?
If she remembers.
I just remember you being very nervous. You very nervous, and you were just starting to learn how to read Jeremiah. And I mean, if I'm getting the question right here, but I really love Stephanie. Like you have just a wonderful light energy. You kind of remind me of myself. Like you're just wonderful light energy. Can tend to be a little all over the board, but you guys are a nice couple. Like you're a good fit. It's nice to have nice neighbors. Not crazy neighbors.
Right.
Yes.
It's how I'd put that. And I was thinking about your question earlier about self-taught or did I have a guru? And I guess one of the things I also think about in regards to that is with the clairsentient ability, the feeling ability, it really comes from both sides of my family, but my mother is probably one of the strongest empathic women I've ever met in my entire lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Completely out of control, by the way. Completely out of control. Like, going to talk about some lessons. I learned some lessons watching my mom, for sure. But, my mom is born on summer solstice, and my aunt is born on Beltane.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I bet she's one wild woman.
So there's a lot of weird, there's a lot of weird stuff in my family. A lot of water. We'll just put it to you like that. But wow. No, I thought you guys were great when I first met you.
Cool.
But I don't always remember, I don't when I'm in that zone, like I'm in a channeling zone, like there are people I'll specifically stay away from, just because I do not like drama at all. Mm-hmm. None, zero. I figure I've got enough drama in my lifetime. I have a 6-year-old, and that's all I need for drama. Okay, like let me scoop him up off the floor and get him in the shower when he's crying bloody murder. Like that's enough drama for me. So, I tend to gravitate towards people that have good hearts, good souls, and if I've definitely met some, we'll say, sheep's and wolves' clothes, or wolves and sheep clothes. There we go. Well, let's get it right the second time. And in the metaphysical field, it has really made me. What I always like to tell people is, even though there's all these readers at the fair, and they're doing their jobs, a lot of people consider that kind of magical. But I always say that readers got baggage too.
Yeah.
And I've found that working in the metaphysical industry, I'd always find myself completely trusting people that I would first meet, because I'm like, oh, they work in the same field, they're psychic, they got to be a good person. Well, I found that out the hard way. And I always tell my son, not all people are good people, and I don't always use my intuition all the time. I don't always have it turned on, and sometimes it's just like a car. Sometimes you got to turn it off and go on autopilot. And I definitely learned that one the hard way. And more now than ever, I usually turn it back on. But from a psychic perspective, I always think it's rude to read anybody without their permission. To me, that's a no-no. But if we're going to be doing business or anything like that, then I look at people, or if we're going to have some sort of interaction. Otherwise, I always taught since I was a kid, mind your business.
Yep.
But, there's definitely a lot of good people in the metaphysical world, and there's definitely a lot of people that have had some trauma in their lifetime, and unfortunately that can get displaced onto other people. But I always felt that you and Stephanie were some good souls. Maybe not you, Jeremiah. You got a lot of darkness in you, but
well, you're not wrong. But no.
I'm just giving you a hard time. No, we actually we've talked about that, but
Right.
as souls, we all evolve through all the things that happen in our lifetimes.
Well, that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about the reading that I got from you was that you weren't afraid to attack that part of it. If you remember correctly, we went, the large portion, not all of it, but the large portion of my reading was, it dealt with past life situations.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of darkness back there. I mean, you're not wrong about that. There's a lot of darkness back there.
You know why I don't think that those kind of things bother me is because, I've got a lot of darkness and I've got a lot of light. I'm a balance of both, as we all are people. It's that balance that we strike where we can maintain that center. But I've had my own stuff that I've definitely worked through. I will say I do not come from the easiest family. It was definitely not the best upbringing, and I've definitely moved through a lot of trauma in my lifetime. And I think the reason why I attack it head on is because I've went through a lot of it myself.
Right.
And I always remember when I was a child, right? I was like 10 years old, and I don't even know how I remember this. And I don't know, something going on, and I said to myself, there must be a reason why I'm going through this is so that I can understand how everyone else feels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 10 years old.
Right.
Who says that?
An
Right.
old soul, that's who says that.
An old soul that's also an empath.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell you.
Ooh, I want to ask her a question.
Okay.
KayCey, can you hear me? Jeremiah might have to repeat all this to you. I want her to interpret, remember that dream I had that I was on the ledge of a rock and there was a giant fucking like wolf thing and I was like creeped down and there was water next to me and then I slipped and then the rock fell on top of me under the water and I drowned. I drowned in my dream.
Okay.
I'm just curious how she would interpret something like that.
Did you hear any of that, KayCey?
Not really. Can you repeat?
So she had a dream here a while back that she's curious about your take on.
Okay.
So what was going on? She in her dream she was a large kind of a wolf-like beast.
No, I wasn't. I was creeped down, and there was one like on another rock.
Gotcha.
And it was like open plain, like or not plain, but it was like there was no city, there was no like, people.
So they were out in they were out in the large open, and they were by a stream, and Stephanie was crouched down, hiding from a large wolf-like beast at the stream side, and then she, in the process of this, she slipped into the stream and drowned.
The rock fell on top of me and was pushing me under the water.
A rock fell on top of her and was pushing her under the water.
The rock that I was perched on.
And the rock that she was perched on specifically
fell on top of me and pushed me under the water, and I drowned. In my dream, I died. Like, in my dream, I drowned.
And in her dream, she was drowned because this rock landed on top of her in the water.
Yeah.
I had 2 years of dreams that I wrote every single dream down and I decoded them all. So I'm actually really good with dreams. So picking it apart, I would say that's about facing your shadow emotions, facing and having fear about facing those emotions, those deep, and I'll say dark, right? But they're not dark, but to you they may seem dark because you're scared to face them, and it's like you're drowning in those emotions, and you can't process them all as they come to you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
For me, a wolf is always shadow. it's different for every person, but since you were afraid, it's like all this shit, right, is coming up for you to process. And you're so afraid of it that because there's so much of it, and you're like, how the fuck do I get through all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's kind of where we're all at, because that it's all this, we'll say all this shadow is being pushed up so we can transition it out and move more into that 5D, but we can't move into that lighter energy when we have so many heavy things weighing us down, and things that you thought that you were done with, that you processed. And I'm saying this from experience, because I've kind of, we're all kind of there, reprocessing the same things over again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's taking that power back and moving that rock off your chest, off of you, knowing that you can do it, right? You can get through it. It's releasing that fear, but it's the fear that keeps you from processing. So, that I feel like the biggest message lately is just get out of your own way. Just let it come up. Allow yourself to feel that, and it feels really deep, and there feels a lot of emotions behind that.
And you might tell her, you might add in there that, this kind of came about at a time where I'd been working on the shadow work for a while, and I kind of got to a place where it was too much, and I needed a break.
Yeah, the shadow work and working on shadow self has been kind of a constant theme in our household for going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of it to do and a lot of it going on. But at that specific point in time during that, when she had that dream, she was having issues because she was at a point where she didn't feel like she could handle any more shadow work at that time.
Yeah, all that emotions is like just keeping you weighed down. It's like you weren't processing it.
Mm-hmm. And it is. I did 3 readings last night. And I can't really go into any details about it, but it was. I did a couples reading, and then 2 individual readings on some friends of ours, and it that was kind of a recurring theme because of some things that they're facing right now. Is that shadow work that it sucks. It really, really sucks. It's hard to face, but it's absolutely a necessary part of moving forward.
Because you kind of look at it like, look at your moon sign and then look at your sun sign. And it's kind of like, there's those aspects of how you think you are, but in reality, it's not the case. And there's all those, I don't think she can hear me. There's all those aspects that we don't want to think about because we don't like. And in reality, until you come to peace with those and learn how to deal with them, you are constantly going to, yes, Lena said, especially in 2020, you're constantly going to be, it's a losing battle, basically.
It's it's not a losing battle.
No, you can't avoid them.
You can't avoid your shadow work, but it's it's in my experience, it's and Stephanie was just talking about this last night. It's like, when you're doing that shadow work, or whatever, it is that you call that type of work, it is
introspection.
It is you're the whole time you're facing those situations, those emotions, all of that baggage. It's the work is being done as long as you're coming to a place of acceptance and peace with it. There's more to it than that. That's really oversimplified, but as long as you're coming to that place, the work is being done, but you don't necessarily realize it's being done until you're put back in a situation that would trigger that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And to be honest with you, I have processed so much shit. I mean, holy moly, right? And we finally get to the point where we're like, oh God, I'm done. Yay. And then that's right in that moment when we think we're done, all this planetary stuff comes into play. We got how many planets, in retrograde right now?
Yeah, looking back at that, right now, everyone's, and I see all these memes on Facebook about what's going to happen next in 2020. Is Cthulhu going to come up out of the ocean
Godzilla,
or what?
Godzilla. Hey, and you might tell her along with that, like in my chart, I have 5 in water, 0 in earth.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So, but we should have all known that 2020 was going to be crazy just by the amount of astrological stuff that's going on right now, because it's like, well, like you said, how many planets have been in retrograde? How many are in retrograde right now? What's that cycle been like over the last few years? I mean, it like at one point just here recently, there were like 6 or 7 planets all in retrograde at once.
Yeah. And then you got Uranus, which is sun and unexpected change, right? It's just like, woo!
Yes.
Like how many more sudden, unexpected changes can you throw at me? And the trick is, how easily can you change? How fast can you change? How much can you ride that wave, right? And as you get better at riding those waves, the changes that come in get easier. But those certain things, and for me, it's been, we'll say, avoidance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not wanting to deal with certain things, like
you Aries, you.
Oh, I know. Bless, right? And I didn't realize till the other day, like what you're saying, Jeremiah, I had that trigger, and I kept feeling these emotions come up, and I feel everything, right? But I don't like to feel my own shit.
Right.
I don't like to feel all that. And I kept having these emotions come up, and my 6-year-old, who's empathic and clairaudient, is over here, like, he'll light you up like a Christmas tree. Like, ooh, Mom, let me see how many buttons I can push all at the same time, right? So he's over here lighting me up, and I feel it coming. I feel the anger, and I'm not an angry person, but I'm very fiery. I got a lot of fire, and got a lot of water. I'll just put it to you like that, right? And I feel the anger coming. And he's like, woohoo! More buttons, Mom. And I don't like to be mad at my kid. I'm a single parent. I love my little dude, but he's the carbon copy of me, right? And I get that. I get pushing the buttons, like he knows which ones to push, and I'm trying to calm down, put the lid on it, and I realized when I get to that point, I check out. I don't want to deal anymore, so I check out. And then I don't want to feel those emotions, so I checked out. And so my kid's over here pushing all the buttons, and nothing's happening, right? Because I'm not even in my body. I'm just staring at Netflix.
That sounds like someone else I know.
Right. Hey,
right?
Ask her.
Right. And so I'm like, I could feel it in my throat, and it felt like a quarter stuck where my voice box is, right? And I could feel it. And I'm like, what am I not processing? So I made myself go get in the shower and tap into it, and I'm like, oh God, okay, allow myself to tap in and say, to accept the situation. My kid wants my attention, but I need attention too, right? But just instead of fighting the situation and jumping out of my body and staring at the TV like a blob, actually get back in my body and accept the situation as in, hey, you can't check out right now. You got to do something else.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know that seems kind of silly, right? But for me, I realized I had been doing that, I don't know, since I was a little kid, because my sister, when I was growing up, was really
Sounds
mean,
familiar.
and she beat the snot out of me every day, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I check out. When I get to that point of anger, like I'm going to hit you back. And when I was a kid, I never hit my sister back because I always figured if I hit her back, I would be just like her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was weightlifting champion of her weight class. I'm to put it to you like that. So when she comes to hit you, it ain't no little punch, right? So I checked out. My kids over here making me angry. I checked out, and I realized that instead of just allowing myself to feel the feelings and just letting it move through and accepting things for what they really are.
Yeah.
You know, until I realized the empath side of me, I would do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
So she said until she realized that she was an empath and started to learn what that was, she did exactly the same thing.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, I would check out. Hey, ask her, kind of back to the astrology thing, ask her, I want to hear her, what she interprets it, but what does it mean to have your Scorpio or your Venus in Scorpio?
Ooh.
Did she hear me?
I heard something Venus and Scorpio.
Yeah, what does it mean to have your Venus in Scorpio to you?
Well, okay. Well, Scorpio is really ruled by Pluto, if I remember correctly. And so you said you were a Sagittarius. So it's not in your sun sign. Is your rising sign or your moon sign in Scorpio?
Venus.
Yes or no?
Her Venus, on her birth chart, Venus is in Scorpio.
Okay, so what's your rising sign?
Gemini.
Rising sign is 1 degree Gemini.
Okay, and then your moon sign?
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Okay, so when your Venus is in Scorpio, then because those kind of all would come into play, and I know a couple things about astrology, but I'm not an astrologer. But I would say that would change how you that's like your determinant of love, how you love. And so Scorpios, well, they they love all through sex. Okay. But they're also that very deep, watery, emotional love, right? That deep connection.
Yeah.
Okay. That deep water connection is what that would really mean to me. So it's like for you to love, you have to connect on such a deep level. And I would never want to make you mad love-wise because you do it one time and that's it. It cuts you off.
Yeah.
She's nailed it.
Yep.
So
yep,
but
pretty much got that right on. That's
for me, I always feel like I got the astrological poop chart, we'll say, because like my Venus, my Mars, Venus, Mars, Mercury are all in Aries when I was born.
Whoa.
And I'm an Aries.
Wow. Fire everywhere.
And then I'm a Scorpio rising, and then a Cancer moon, so I'm double water with all this fire, and I'm like, and tons of Libra, and no Earth.
I have
So
zero
like,
Earth.
when I get mad, earthquakes happen, and I'm just like that. I gotta keep.
Tell her I have
my
zero Earth.
stuff in check.
Stephanie also has 0 Earth in her birth chart. So.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, girl.
I know, right? I know. Fire, air are equal. And then, wait, no, they're not equal. Fire is like 3, air is 2, and water is 5, I think.
Yeah, she's fire is 3, air is 2, and water was 5.
Yeah.
That's kind of where she's at. But
it's funny because we're always, there's a lot that goes into the masculine and feminine too, and I have a lot of friends, men and women, on both sides, but I'm like 8 masculine and like 2 feminine. Like
I was 7 feminine and 3 masculine.
Or however that is. I don't remember. I just know I'm a lot of dude.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
I was surprised, honestly, that I have 7 feminine because I'm pretty, like, you know.
I don't know what it, I can't think back and really remember, what it was like to first meet you, but I do remember, or now thinking about it as, getting to know you. I was kind of surprised you didn't have more masculine in your chart as well. Talking about Stephanie KayCey, she
yeah, I figured.
It just she is it's very surprising to me that she didn't have more masculine in her chart, but it just it is what it is, I guess, but it just kind of took me by surprise.
Me too.
She's got really, really big. When I think of your energy, Steph, it's like you've got such a big heart, and it seems very feminine.
Oh wow!
To me, even though like you don't have any problems getting your hands dirty or crafting or anything like that, there's a lot of femininity there. Except and I think Jeremiah, for you, it's like that Scorpio and Venus, that sex part of things can make you seem a little more masculine than feminine. But it's that big heart that really puts a lot of emphasis in there.
Yeah, that would make all the sense in the world with the demi thing.
That does actually make a lot of sense.
I'm fine with you talking about that.
And she also made the comment that it makes a lot of sense as to why she would be more on the demisexual side of things.
Yeah.
Because she's said from the beginning, if I don't have an emotional attachment, there is nothing as far as sex drive.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that Scorpio for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I have so many friends that are Scorpios, and it's funny because all their birthdays are around the same date. And I love all my Scorpio friends, but dang if I ever date a Scorpio. Holy moly. No way. And they are honestly too emotional for me. And that's coming from me here. I have a Cancer moon, which is, the home of the moon. That's like the most watery emotional side you could get. But them Scorpios.
Tell her.
Not for me.
Tell her linens. Tell her
You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
So my son, he's just like me, okay? And his birth chart, he is like me, a Sagittarius sun, like me, a Gemini rising, and he's a Scorpio moon.
So her son Lennon is a Sagittarius sun, Gemini moon.
No, Gemini rising.
Gemini rising, sorry.
Scorpio moon.
But Scorpio moon.
Okay, say it one more time.
Sorry, her son is a Sagittarius.
Okay.
With a Gemini rising, just like Steph, but he's a Scorpio moon.
Okay. Yeah. So that moon is who we are, that we don't show anyone else.
Right.
And so that's that deep, darker, sensitive side that you'll find. And the Gemini is who he shows, so that's going to be like the light and the dark. You got the good twin and the evil twin, and sometimes you see the evil twin and sometimes you don't.
Stephanie still doesn't believe me on that, by the way, but
oh well, my mother is on the cusp between Cancer and Gemini, summer solstice, and let me tell you, she's definitely got both sides of that whole deal there. That's all I'm going to say. I've definitely seen the light and dark sides of that. But yeah. but yeah, so that, having that Scorpio moon is just going to make him, I always think of kind of dark and broody. But he doesn't show that to everybody.
No,
right? No,
no.
he doesn't. He does, but you can see that as if you really study the kid, you can see that in him in the way that he it just. Of course, it's probably easier for an empath to see this than other people, but in the way he carries himself, because he hides that that side of himself really well, but man, he is hard on himself. He is.
Oh yeah.
It's like what's the old saying? We are our own worst critics. But he takes that to whole new levels.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So.
And a lot of that sounds like Sagittarius too, but it's, I always think of Scorpios as dark and broody, but they're just very sensitive, and they won't, it only takes one. They don't show the sensitivity, right? Because I think of it like a scorpion. They're hard on the outside, and they'll sting you. It really takes a lot for them to sting you, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot to squish them, but once you squish them, they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's like they're very mushy on the inside. They've got a lot of emotion, a lot of depth.
Yeah.
There, but they really have that harder outer shell that they can seem really intense. And I'm Scorpio rising, so when people usually first meet me, they either love me or they hate me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, and I'm okay with that. Like, there's just something you have to come to peace there. And I love, sometimes I'm really social, and sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody, but it's, I can come across as being very, very intense, but for me, it's that intuitive side, and I get right down to that very point, because it's just going right to that gooey part that no one else wants to touch.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I can't help it sometimes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
KayCey, I hate to say it, but it's like after 9. We've been on here for
A minute.
It's
It's been good.
Yeah.
The people.
We could keep talking like this all night long, but we better
I know,
round it up at some point.
And I'm a talker, so
Me
I
too.
could go on for hours. So
And the fact the mic
appreciate
wasn't-
you guys, and
Oh,
thank
absolutely.
you for having me on tonight. And you behave yourselves.
Well, we'll do our best. No promises, but we'll do our best.
The fact
so
that
you
she,
too.
the fact she couldn't hear me, this is probably the least amount of input I've ever given.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She said it may be a good thing that you couldn't hear her, because we'd probably be talking till midnight.
I know. Another day, right?
So, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and
Thank you.
We will post your all of your your page info and website info, all of that good stuff, so that people know how to get a hold of you if they want to schedule a reading. So
Kenna wants
All
one
right.
for sure. She just messaged me.
So yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on, and this has been a blast.
Oh my God, yes.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You
Yes,
bet.
we love you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
She's such a kind person.
Yeah.
And she'll be straight up with you. She'll tell you exactly what she needs to tell you.
Yeah,
Whether you're ready for it or not.
She flat out told me. I mean, when I got the reading from her, she told me straight up. She said, "You were an asshole in past lives." And she said, and you paid for it.
Beheaded.
She's the one that told me that I was most likely beheaded in at least one, if not multiple, past lives, because of the neck problems I have now carrying over as a a kind of a karmic repercussion.
Well, didn't she she didn't know you had those issues? And
Not at all. Not at all.
that-
And I had my beard down,
you have
and
some
and
throat
I was hiding
issues?
my. Yeah, and I have neck issues. I have, like chronic whiplash issues, and not to mention thyroid problems and all that crap that, some of them you can see if I have my beard tied up, and some of them you can't, but she called that right out of the bat.
Yeah, she did.
Anybody
who wants a reading from her, get a reading, reach out. Well, I mean, you see what you get what you see.
Bite me, Esty.
Seriously, you get what you see with her. She didn't sugarcoat shit. She's, you know what I mean? But anyways, yes, we better get off of here. Be on the lookout. I just whacked myself in my chin with a fucking microphone. That's its vengeance coming out.
What was that karma for?
Well, it's because I talk shit on this microphone, and so it's coming at me. It's coming after me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Enjoyed Jeremiah leading the parade this evening for the most part.
You're a better interviewer than I am.
You do a good job, though. I don't know that I'm better, but I mean... I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm better than you.
You have a much better gift of gab, I'll put it that way. Insult or compliment, take it as you want.
I know, right? Talk about not sugarcoating shit. I don't ever sugarcoat. I'm kind of blunt to a fault.
Yeah.
Like, love it or hate it, it is what it is, But I don't like confrontation at all.
Which is weird.
But I will totally... beat Mama Bear when it comes to the kids.
Yeah.
I've lost my shit with some little kids, man. I kind of need to chill out when it comes to that fire in there. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, well, this has been a lot of fun. Keep sending in your entries for the slogan contest. We are so much appreciative of it. Remember, when we get to 700 people,
we're going to do something cool.
Yep, and then we get to 979. We'll do something else really cool. So, yeah.
I told Esty earlier today that I know he's made a post about it before now, but I didn't really. It didn't register with me for some reason. But he's got a cricket or a Cricut. Whatever.
Oh, like a scrapbooking cricket.
Yeah, however you say that.
Yeah.
And so I told him we have a mighty need. We have a mighty need for some window stickers or something like that.
Yes, we do.
So we need to talk.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, maybe some more stuff like that for the upcoming giveaways and shit. Yeah. So
don't forget that September 19th, we're gonna be celebrating Lena's birthday on the Darkness Tavern, and he was a fireman. Actually, is that what you were gonna say?
Yes, I was a fireman at one point in time.
Butcher, cop, fireman, carpenter, doing all the work of Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. Cowboy, nurse. Pretty much covered your bases.
I mean,
What was the worst? What was the worst, most awful job you've had? Like you didn't like it. Not that it was a bad job, just that you didn't like it.
I don't know that I've really had a job where I just hated the work. But I have to say, that just the packing plant I worked at was probably the hardest job because it was just so repetitive and so mundane and mind-numbing.
Geminis don't handle that shit. Neither do Sagittarians.
The work itself was enjoyable, but the making the same cut 3,000 times a day was that was rough.
Did you ever cut yourself?
No.
Did you ever see anybody else cut themselves?
No. I saw some other things happen, but not involving the knives.
Oh, damn. I don't even want to know. I'm picturing like a chipper, like...
No, nothing like that.
An arm getting stuck in there, whatever. I'm still hung up on last week's episode. Anyways, you guys have been great, and hopefully we can get this microphone situation, put to bed,
I don't know if anyone out there has any ideas, because let me lay this out here very as detailed as I can get it. So when we have a guest on the phone, they can hear me, but they can't hear Stephanie. It doesn't have anything to do with the microphones, because if we switch microphones, they can still hear me, but not hear Stephanie. So I don't know if it has something to do with settings that I need to change on the mixer board, or if it's like Stephanie's voice that I need to do something with, specific settings on the mixer board for that, or what. If anyone, it's not a connection. I've checked all that. I will say that microphone is a lot cheaper and not as good a quality as this one. But the thing is, when we switch microphones, they can still hear me out of the cheap microphone, but they can't hear Stephanie out of the good microphone.
It's weird, man.
So I don't know what to think about that. If anyone has any pointers, please send them to me, because I'm out of ideas. I'm going to have to do research.
I tell you what.
So, anyway, tomorrow and I know you guys, all the viewers can hear us just fine, but
that's the weird part.
The phone guest. The phone guest can't hear the conversation from Stephanie's end.
It's weird.
Which, and it doesn't matter which microphone it's coming from. It's
that's
just,
the weird part, man.
I don't get it, and that's why I say we might have to put together a Shungolite jacket for Stephanie, or like a great big heavy
I don't
necklace.
even know. I don't even know.
Shungolite.
I'm at a loss. I mean, because anybody who's ever been around me, I'm very loud, and I don't know.
So anyway,
yeah. That's all I got. Next,
I want to plug. Carl brought up a good point, but it's not actually the case, because it's patching through a phone. It will only recognize one mic, but we're running both mics through the mixer board, and the phone comes out of the mixer board too, so it should be recognizing the mixer board, not the mics.
See, Claire said they can bring some equipment out. We'll take you up on that, Claire. Ben and Claire,
cool.
bring some equipment.
We have something else coming up in the future that we need to talk to you guys about too, Ben and Claire. So if you guys have equipment that we don't have, we can team up on a project we have coming up.
Hell yeah. Hey, I want to plug our next week's guest. So another, anybody who follows watches the stuff I post a lot of stuff, a lot of artwork by an individual, and the name of her business is called Shell. Oh my God, I'm going to fuck this up. Shelma Art? No, that doesn't sound right.
I mean, that come on.
Hold on, we're getting there. Anyways, Jeremiah is looking up exactly how to say it. But yeah, it's like, I'm just going to stop until you figure it out. I feel terrible for admitting that. But I know her by her name. I don't ever think about what her business is called, But so her name is Michelle, and she's an artist, a very gifted, amazing artist at that. She is going to be on
Shalema. Or Chelema, not sure which.
Mm-hmm. Shalema Art. She has incredible skills, and I gotta say, I actually went to high school with her, but she was older than me, so I didn't actually know her. But I always remember every day in the lunchroom, I just would stare at her lunchbox, because she just had the coolest fucking lunchbox. It was all stickered up, and she was just like the epitome of what I thought was cool back then.
Yeah.
And she still is. She's incredible, but her art's amazing. Like I say, I always share every time I see her with a new thing. She just recently did all the Zodiac Goddess painting or artwork.
She did her representation of a
all of the Zodiac, but as in goddesses, and they're pretty incredible. And so we're gonna have her on next Monday. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited to talk to her, and she's a fan of spiders like me, which is really cool too. Mm-hmm. So
I wanted to bring up another point on the audio situation. The soundboard doesn't actually have built-in echo canceling. I have it set up on a mix minus loop. Carl asked or said it has echo canceling. It does not have echo canceling. I have it set up on a mixed minus loop.
I don't even know what that means.
Which by default, SD means I have to set it up on a mixed minus loop. I actually have to have it set up with the microphone and headphones on a separate connection. So yeah, it's all set up properly technically there, but I don't know. It's still none of that anyway would explain why.
It doesn't pick me up.
But it won't pick up Stephanie's voice, because even when we switch microphones without touching anything on the mixer board, even when we switch microphones, it won't pick her voice up for some reason. I don't understand it.
I don't either. I don't even know. But enough on that. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday evening. Enjoy your week. Just try and have a really good week if you can. And if you can't, there's always the next week, right?
Yep. It's all we can do is do our best, and
life's pretty amazing if you just stop and look around once in a while.
Yeah, it really is.
That's from a movie, and I can't attribute to what movie, but I know I've heard that quote in a movie before. Life's pretty amazing if you stop and look around once in a while. What the fuck movie was that?
What's that?
What movie was that? Yeah, somebody said life's pretty amazing if you stop and look around once in a while. It's a good quote. And that
SD, that's too advanced for my primitive ass equipment here. This equipment's all analog. It's not able to pick out background versus foreground. So
good night, Christy. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
I like the credit you're trying to give me. So
right, dude, KayCey was incredible, and I want to talk to her again. She's so
yes,
she's just amazing, and I really wish we could have gotten more into the hypnosis aspect of things. Maybe we could have her on again and discuss the hypnosis aspect, because that's really intriguing to me.
Yeah,
and that was really insightful to learn her interpretation of that dream I had, because it was very real and it was very scary, and she nailed it, I think. So yes, KayCey, thank you for being on. And we will, till we get a new slogan, don't be afraid of the dark.
Don't be afraid of the dark.
All right,
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Wrong one.
Uh-oh.
Outro. There we go. Bye.